Welcome to yet another edition of the Stats and Stacks podcast. For today, we're going over NFL Week 14. We did it, baby. We went 6 for 6 on picks last week. It sucks that it was, unfortunately, we are correct on the Patriots against the Bills. That weather did have a lot to do with it, in all honesty. But at least we made money. 6 for 6 on picks, looking to continue and go 6 for 6 again this week. Why not? Why not us? So we're going to go ahead and jump right into it. Just had a great Thursday night game. It didn't look like it was going to be great for a while, but Steelers with a crazy comeback to at least make it pretty entertaining there at the end. Otherwise, the Vikings got the job done. And we're moving on to the next games, baby. We had the Ravens up against the Browns. We had the Ravens as actually the underdogs here. We had the Browns as -2.5 favorites, over under set at 43. These games are generally shootouts, but I know the last game was just turnover city. I don't understand why the Ravens are dogs here. I'm definitely taking the Ravens. I think this is free money. I'm going to take the Ravens money line. They just continually whoop the Browns' ass until the Browns do something otherwise. I think the Browns are falling apart here. So go ahead and give me the Ravens, especially at plus money. Fantasy perspective, I know he threw like 5 picks last time they played, but you can start Lamar. You can also start Hollywood Brown. Rashad Bateman is dead to me, so he needs to show me multiple times before I throw him back in the lineup. And you can start Mark Andrews for the Hail Marys because that's all he gets. Go get it, Mark. And hey, when he gets them, their touchdowns are huge plays. So the running game, I'm really staying away from. I guess if you really had to start Freeman, but I don't want to start any of them. Just Lamar, Andrews, and you can start Hollywood, but I'm not even a favorite there. The Brown side, you're going to start Nick Chubb. If Kareem Hunt plays, you can start him. I can't remember if he's coming back this week, but I'm pretty much just starting the running backs. I'm not starting any of the receivers. I'm not starting Baker. I'm not starting Hooper. I'm not trusting anyone in that pass offense. I know the Ravens always give up big plays. Donovan Peoples-Jones is live for a huge TD catch because the Ravens give one up every single week. Multiple huge plays down the field. Could be Donovan Peoples-Jones, could be Anthony Schwartz. I don't know who it is. I don't trust Baker with his bad arm to get it there. So I'm going to stay away from everyone but the running game. All right. And then the next game, we had the Titans going up against the Jags. We had the Titans as -8.5 favorites, over under set at 43.5. Honestly, on a betting perspective, I probably just lean the over here. I think 8.5 may be too much. The Jags suck, but the Titans are hurting, man. They are not right. So 8.5 screams backdoor cover. It has it written all over it, so I want no part of that. So I'll actually just go ahead and take the over. I think the Jags can score enough. The Titans D isn't exactly the greatest, so give me the over here. Fantasy perspective, it could be relevant here. I mean, James Robinson can be relevant, especially with Trevor Lawrence saying he needs to be on the field more. All his teammates advocating for him to touch the ball. They might make it a point of emphasis here, so you can start James Robinson. If you have to stream Lawrence, this is a streamable Lawrence game. I don't want to. There should be better options out there, but if you absolutely have to, you can. I don't like any of the pass catchers. I guess Laviska Shenault, if any. I guess you could do Marvin Jones. I don't know. I don't want to start any of the pass catchers if you can avoid it. Titan side, Julio Jones is practicing. AJ Brown is out, so he would be their de facto one against the Jags who are struggling. So I mean, it's not the worst play in the world starting Julio. It's not my favorite play, but I totally understand that. Tannehill, not my favorite play, but I could see it. I mean, that Jags defense is sneaky good at times. So I don't know. I really don't know. I don't really want to start anyone on the Titans, in all honesty. I think this is a trap. Jags may cover this 8.5, in all honesty. So the pick is going to be the Jags. The bet is the over. Fantasy, I don't know. I don't really want to start anyone but James Robinson, in all honesty. All right. Then the next game, we have the Raiders going up against the Chiefs. We have the Chiefs as 9.5-point favorites, kind of high there. Over under set at 48. Betting perspective, the Chiefs never cover. I'll just take the Raiders to cover the 9.5. I don't really want to play around with that over under. I don't know what type of game it's going to be. So I'll take the Raiders to cover. Fantasy perspective, you're going to start. I know they could potentially get boat raced and he could do nothing. But with the backfield to himself, you're going to start Josh Jacobs. Derek Carr is a streamable quarterback against the Chiefs as well, but it's not exactly my favorite play, especially with Waller still not practicing. Brian Edwards, I love the guy, but for this season, he's dead to me. Um, the rest of the receiving core, I mean, I guess you could really start Hunter Renfrow. He keeps coming through, but it's not my favorite play in the world. Those are all just options, but if you can avoid them, I would outside of Josh Jacobs. Chiefs side, fire them up. You're going to start Mahomes. You're going to start Tyreek Hill. You're going to start Travis Kelce, and you're going to start Clyde Edwards-Helaire. Daryl Williams only had like 4 touches last game. So I'm not going to start him unless there's an Helaire injury. So fire up all the starters and call it a day with the Chiefs. Next game, we have the Saints as -5.5 favorites against the Jets. And I agree with it. At first, I wasn't, but Taysom Hill did say he's going to gut it out and try to play. Alvin Kamara started practicing, so it looks like he's going to gut it out and try to play. And the Jets cannot stop the run game to save their lives. Both of those are great runners, so I think the Jets are in some trouble. So I'll take the Saints to cover over under 43. Yeesh. I don't know how much the Jets are going to contribute to that. The Saints have been a terrible, terrible defense the last few weeks. The Jets can't score. So I'll probably just take the Saints to cover as a bet. Fantasy perspective, you start Alvin Kamara if he plays, no matter what, especially against one of the worst run defenses in the league. This is a gimme game. This is a perfect game for him to come back to. If Taysom Hill starts, you can probably start him, in all honesty. I don't know how he's going to do, but it's hard to do poorly against the Jets. He is a streaming option. Otherwise, that's probably it. I'm not going to play around with the receiving game. I really don't know who it's going to be. On the Jet side, I'm not starting anyone. Honestly, if Elijah Moore plays, I'll start him. But if he's sitting, I guess you could get away with Jamison Crowder by default because he's the last man standing. But I'm not excited to start anyone in this Zach Wilson offense. So I'm probably just not starting anyone. But I will start people in the next game. The Cowboys went up against the Washington football team. Cowboys -4.5 point favorite. Something keeps telling me that the Washington football team is going to cover. They're live dogs. They may win, but then my mind won't allow me to let that become a reality. And I think the Cowboys may boat race them. I think either Washington wins or the Cowboys absolutely crush them, not even close. And I'll lean with the Cowboys crushing them. Right now, over under set at 48. I definitely like that over with Amari coming back. I don't like both of their running backs and Zeke and Pollard being hurt. They'll both be limping around the field. However, I mean, it's the Washington football team. Their run defense isn't the greatest, and their pass defense, they can't cover you and me. So if you have Amari and CD healthy out there, God, it could get ugly. Dalton Schultz, start them all. Start Dak. God, the running game. I guess you start Zeke. I don't want to start a hurt Pollard. I don't want to start a hurt Zeke, but he's going to be the one in the red zone, so he's touchdown or bust. I kind of like Dalton Schultz this game. I think he could go off, and I think they might try to hyper target Amari now that he's healthy off of the COVID list. So yeah, fire up Dak, Amari, CD, all the pass catchers. And if you have to start a runner, you can start Zeke because he has the touchdown upside. When it comes to Washington, you're going to start Antonio Gibson for sure. Terry McLaurin has been struggling mightily. You would have drafted him pretty high. So if he's like a flex or something, I totally get. You probably get away with it. And if you're super desperate for a tight end, you can't, with Logan Thomas being out, you can't start Ricky Seals-Jones. Taylor Heineke does like throwing to the tight end. So he is streamable in a pinch. Right. Then the next game, we had the Falcons going up against the Panthers. The Panthers are -2.5 point favorites. Over under set at 41. I don't know. I don't know how I feel about this one. I don't like either offense at the moment, so I guess I'll just trust the defenses, and I would trust the Carolina defense head and shoulders more than the Falcons D. And so I'll agree with the line, and I'd probably just bet the home team with the better defense there in Carolina at -2.5. It's not even a whole field goal. So I'm going to pick Carolina, and I would bet Carolina. I'm not playing around with that over under 41.5. It's a weird number with these two struggling offenses. Fantasy wise, you're forced into starting Kyle Pitts, but it's not great. You start the GOAT Cordell Patterson. This dude, I don't know what steroids he's taken this year, but I need some because he's lost his damn mind. So you start Cordell. I know Russell Gage has been fine as of late, but I'm not going to start him with Stephon Gilmore on the other side. I don't know. I know he generally shadows. I don't know if he's going to shadow Pitts. I don't know if he's going to shadow Gage. I don't know what the game plan is, but I'm not, in case Gage has, Stephon Gilmore shadowing him, I want no part of that, so I'm probably not going to start Russell Gage this game. Panthers side, I guess you can start Chuba in this matchup. It's a pretty good one. Cam, God, if you have to stream, he'll probably get a rushing touchdown here. DJ Moore, he can do enough, and that's about it. I don't feel good about this offense with Cam, but it's tough to get a better matchup than this, so you can start the key factors there: the run game, Cam himself to get a touchdown, and DJ Moore, everyone with a chance to score. Then the next game, we had the Seahawks going up against the Texans. Seahawks -8.5, over under set at 41. Not the biggest fan of this line with 8.5 either, but I do believe it's going to be Davis Mills starting. In fact, I need it to be Davis Mills starting because I'm forced to start him in a 2 QB league. He is the only QB left. So I hope it's Mills, and hey, I hope he goes off, but I don't foresee that happening. The Seahawks D has looked great as of late. So the pick is gonna be the Seahawks. The bet, probably just them to cover 8.5. In all honesty, they don't need much to do so. Because the Texans don't have much to offer on offense. Seahawks, you're going to start Lockett. You're going to start DK, even though he's been super cold. Running game, I'm not playing around with. Tight ends, not a shot. I just can't stand Gerald Everett, and Will Dissly's the afterthought. Russell Wilson, you can start him in this matchup. He's getting healthier and healthier every week. This is a good matchup for him, so you'll start Russ. Texans side, none of them. You can try to start Brandon Cooks, but don't feel confident at all. You can try to start Rex Burkhead, don't feel confident at all. And that's about it. Those are your flex options in an absolute dire situation. Otherwise, I'm staying the hell away from the Texans. I'm staying the hell away from the next matchup with the Lions going to get up against the Broncos. We have the Broncos as -10 favorites. God, I feel like that's too high. The Lions just won, so I feel like they're going to be on a high and get absolutely decimated. But 10's a big number. Denver's not the greatest. They're okay. Yeah, I think the Lions are going to be too happy off of that win. Yeah, because Denver's at home, I'll take Denver to cover the 10. Fantasy or over under set at 42. I'll probably hit the over. I don't really hate the over 42 at all. Fantasy perspective, you can start TJ Hawkinson. You can start Jamal Williams if DeAndre Swift is out. And that is it on the Lions. Don't play around with St. Brown. I mean, in a dire situation, again, you can flex him if you have to, but it's not something you want to do. Khalif Raymond, I'm not starting any of those guys. The Broncos side, I don't know what to do with their receiving game. I would smash Javonte Williams, but Melvin Gordon says he thinks he's going to play. Hopefully he's on a snap count or something. Javonte is probably still the only one I'm going to start. You can get away with starting Noah Fant, but I'm not playing around with those receivers. I don't know who it's going to be, if anyone. So I'd start Williams. I would start Fant. And honestly, if Melvin's playing, you can probably get away with starting him too. All right. And then the next game, we had the Chargers going up against the Giants. We had the Chargers at -10, which seems like a big number going up against the Giants. It looks like Mike Glennon is going to be able to play. Over under set at 43. Yeah, Mike Glennon's going to be able to play, but it looks like Mike Williams is going to be able to play. It looks like Keenan Allen is going to be able to play. Their exposure to COVID, they're all vaccinated, and it was last Monday. So they should be able to get all 3 negative tests in. So I think the Chargers are going to be at full strength. And in that case, I am going to take that -10. They're just the better team on offense. They're the better team on defense. They struggle against the run. So you can start Saquon for the Giants. That is it. Don't start any of the receivers. Tony got hurt again at practice today. Stay away. Kenny Golladay, just stay away. I'm only starting Saquon, especially as the Chargers aren't the greatest against the run. Charger side, Herbert's going to absolutely smash. If the receivers all play, you can start Keenan. Mike Williams, I guess you can play, but he annoys me. I don't like doing it. Austin Eckler is going to be a smash. Yeah, I like the Chargers a lot here, and they should cover that 10. All right, and then the next game, we have the 49ers going up against the Cincinnati Bengals. We have the 49ers as the road favorites. Over under set at 48.5. That's interesting, just because the Bengals are so hit or miss. You never know what version of the Bengals you're going to get. But we do know what version of the 49ers we're getting. We're getting a version probably without Deebo Samuel, probably without Elijah Mitchell. They're banged up right now. So I actually like the Bengals as live dogs here. I didn't realize that they were the dogs here. I might have to revise some of these picks and make the Bengals one of my favorite dog plays, in all honesty. Give me the Bengals to cover. Over under 48.5. Oh, that over is going to smash. On fantasy perspective, with the overhitting, there's going to be some scoring. So Bengals start Chase, start T. Higgins has been on fire. Start him. Start Joe Mixon, who's been on fire. Start Joe Burrow, who usually throws more than 1 touchdown. And then that's it. I'm not starting Boyd or Uzama. 49ers side, you can get away with streaming Ayuk, but it's not my favorite play. He I don't know. He just annoys me. If it's going to be Jeff Wilson by himself, it's going to probably be a mixture of him and Hasty. They're going to probably rely more on Jeff Wilson, especially on the goal line. So I guess Jeff Wilson's going to be playable if Mitchell is out. So Mitchell, Ayuk, and then of course Kittle. You start Kittle. Jimmy G has been crushing it. I think he's streamable at this point. And he's proved me wrong too many times for me to say don't start him. So you can get away with streaming him if you have to. All right. And then the next game, we need this win. We have the Buffalo Bills trying to bounce back against the Buccaneers here. Tough matchup. Buccaneers -3.5. Over under set at 53.5. That half is a big deal to me. I think the Bills, if they lose, I don't think it's going to be by more than a field goal. So I'm going to take the Bills as live dogs here. On a fantasy perspective, just because they're in Tampa Bay, there's not going to be any crazy snow or anything like that. The Bills are a passing offense, so warm weather caters to them. They are one of the best passing offenses in the league, and the Bucs have one of the worst passing defenses in the league. Don't get me wrong. We're not going to be able to stop them in the air either or on the ground. So it should be a shootout. And I know the over-under is kind of high at 53. That defense, I don't know. I think the Bills are going to come away with this. I would bet Bills, dog or pass. Start Diggs, start Allen. You could probably get away with starting Emmanuel Sanders. I think he's going to blow up this game. You can get away with Beasley, but I think this is more of a Manny Sanders game. And Gabe Davis, you never know what he's going to do. They love him in the red zone, so I don't even know. Dawson Knox, start. And that's it. Don't start the run game here. You can't run on the Bucs unless you're the GOAT, Cordell Patterson. So don't start any. Just start all the receivers, start Allen, and start Knox, call it a day. Buccaneers, you're going to start Mike Evans. You're going to start Chris Godwin. You're going to start Gronk. He's been on fire. Lenny Fournette should probably kill us. Brady, no. I don't know if they're going to score a lot through the air. They might be able to pass a little bit and then either kick a field goal or run it in with Fournette. Fournette's probably going to have a really good game here. But I don't know how much scoring is going to happen through the air. So not Brady, but you can start his pass catchers in Godwin and Evans and Gronk. And that takes us to the Sunday night game. We have the Bears going up against the Packers. We have the Bears as the dogs, of course, but the Packers are -12.5 point favorites. That seems high. Over under set at 43. This seems really high to me. I'm going to take the I'm gonna take the over. I think it goes over 43 points here. I think both offenses are going to be able to go off here. David Montgomery's going to go crazy. I think Mooney can hit. This seems like a Darnell Mooney game, especially with Fields back. Fields just stares him down. Allen Robinson, I think he got some practice in. I don't think it matters. Again, Fields just stares down Mooney. Cole Kmet, he was better with Andy Dalton. If it is Fields back, I don't know if I like him as much. Packers side, you're going to start Devontae Adams. You're going to start Aaron Jones. You can honestly get away with streaming AJ Dillon. He's still going to be involved whether Jones is there or not. Then you can probably use Rodgers here. The Bears D isn't as scary as it used to be. And then the last game on the slate, we have the LA Rams going up against the Arizona Cardinals, a rematch here. Cardinals -2.5 favorites, justifiably so, especially at home. The Rams are all over the place as well. I never know what to think of them. Over under set at 51.5. I see it. Cardinals are healthy again. But they beat the Rams. I think the Rams will make adjustments. Give me the Rams to cover 2.5. I'll probably just take them at 2.5. I'll probably just take them money line just to win outright. Yeah, give me the Rams. Then, in regards to a fantasy perspective, you might be able to get away with streaming OBJ. They're kind of hyper targeting him. Van Jefferson keeps catching big bombs. How many times is going to be able to do so? Well, keeps doing it. So until he stops, I'll go ahead and I'll run him out there. Sony Michelle, Darrell Henderson, keep an eye on it. I think Darrell Henderson will probably be back. Cardinals aren't the easiest matchup to run up against regardless. So I probably don't want to start either of the running backs. But yeah, you're going to start Cooper Kupp. You can probably get away with OBJ and Jefferson. Tyler Higbee at this point is just touchdown or bust, but that's every tight end. So if he's the one that you're throwing out there for a touchdown, it's the same as any other tight end out there. Cardinals side, you're going to start Hopkins. You're going to start Kyler, who looked just fine last week. I guess you could start James Conner. I know Chase Edmonds is coming back, but even so, James Conner was their goal line back, so you can get away with starting James Conner. Zach Ertz, I know he struggled last week, but he's been killing it in Arizona. You can get away with streaming him too. I mean, again, it's tight end. You don't have a lot of choices, so that's going to be week 14. Again, make sure you look on Twitter, Instagram, TikTok to get the official picks. Otherwise, we went 6 of 6 last week, and we're looking to run the tables again for a back-to-back weeks, baby. Let's get paid.